Hey, wrestling fans out there, it's Brendan Devine, the ace of MPW, and you are tuned in to the CCP podcast.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome to Beyond the Bell live on Twitch. I am Chris Page, and it is a Sunday afternoon. We would usually be engaged in a Wrestling Request Live right about now on a Sunday. However, Beyond the Bell, we've got an opportunity to sit down with a talent today, and this is our opportunity, and we had to take it. We had to make the shot count. Before we get started, first of all, UK Paul, I see you in chat, buddy. I hope you're doing well after you fucked up and screwed the pooch and broke your 101 streak yesterday by not being here, but that's your fault, not mine. Before we get too deep, man, November 22nd, 2025, CCP Podcasting presents Genesis Chapter 1. It's our first show on the independent scene. We're going to be doing it in Orlando, Florida. Tickets are on sale right now through Eventbrite. You can catch the links in our descriptions of every video down below on YouTube. You can see it on our social media. It is going to be a happening. Announced yesterday, Alex Bryant's going to be here live on the 22nd of November. That is just one of many talented performers that are going to be circling down for your entertainment, because we couldn't do this without each and every one of you. I want to go ahead and get into the show today. It's not every day that we were getting, well, back in the day, it wasn't every day that we were getting hit up for individuals that wanted to come on and talk to us and do our show. This is one of those situations where I didn't really have to go looking. Field of dreams, baby. If you build it, they will come. And our guest today has done just that. And I have, on good authority, just with conversations over the last month or so, second generation talent. There's a lot of things happening with this young gentleman. 4 or 5 years deep, so we're going to get to know a lot about him right now. Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live. Our guest today, the one and the only Mr. Dallas Dash. How's it going, my man? Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Page?
I am recovering. I had my first weekend off in about 3.5 weeks of 80-hour work weeks. In the real world, it decided to kick my ass, but we're back. We've been back for a week or so now, and it's definitely was missed. And it was it sucked, but it is what it is. You're getting some welcome announcements over in chat. You got a welcome from Goth from the Netherlands. Also, a welcome from UK Paul from over in the UK, obviously. We're an international audience, and they are here in spades for you today, sir. How are you?
Hey, man. The sky and the ceiling, man. I am doing great, dude. Today is Sunday. God bless everybody that's on this podcast right now. And it's about to be fun, man. I got so many stories, but I know you're going to ask me some hard-hitting questions, so I'm ready, dude. Let's do it.
Well, I always tell people, especially on our first get together, because there usually leads where one starts, it usually leads to a second and then a third. And then we're friends before it's all said and done.
Right.
I always try and dive in and get started from the top when it comes to our guests that come on. And for me, it's more or less how does professional wrestling intersect with you? Which you're a little different because you're second generation. So talk to me a little bit about that. What's growing up second generation, and were you bit by the bug at an early age, or what's that look like for you?
Yeah, I would say bit by the bug, honestly. And I wouldn't even call it the bug. Like, I mean, we all grew up the same way watching wrestling growing up. But for me, like I said, it was a little different. My dad, he was a professional wrestler. I say he started back in 2008, and around this time, like I was, going through recovery and stuff, coming out of the hospital at 5. And I used to go to all his trainings and stuff like that. So it was kind of like, all right, I watched him do it. So, let me go in there and try this. So I'll say about around like 9 years old, 8, 9 years old, I was in the ring, man. And it got to the point where like I wanted to train, like train, like go full-fledged training with the adults. And back then, training back then and training now is so different. So like I was in the gym, and just learning the craft, learning the ins and outs. And I would say around that time, he definitely showed me a lot of things that I could, take further, down the line. But I would say back then I was way more advanced than, a lot of most 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. So it definitely prepared me for where I'm at now. So
And I remember when I got started. Of course, I can say this now because the what's the if you do something wrong, then there's a set time frame. I forget the terminology for it. A statute of limitations. That's it. The statute of limitations is passed. I had to
yeah,
forge my dad's name to start my training when I was 17 in Alabama. Going back to 1998 was when I stepped into the ring, but I had to do it because I had to, do what I had
yeah,
to do to make that happen because old Mama
right.
Bear said no, and I said, but
Oh yeah,
please, and it
no.
just it just didn't
My
happen.
mom, she was not with it at all, not with it at all.
Well, I mean,
But I mean, like I said, dad, I was with dad, and I mean, shoot, you couldn't tell me no. Honestly, around that time, I just fell in love with it, man. So it was it was just something that I wanted to do and wanted to pursue. So
well, at what point in time do you you know, really start training with some of these cats? Did that happen as as you're falling in love with it, or did you have to wait a little bit longer? What's that process look like?
I definitely had to wait for sure. Um, it took a while, like from about 8 to like 13. It did take a while for me to like, okay, I know I'm training, but I know I can't, fully go as crazy. But around like 13, 14, I think that's when things kind of like shifted for me. Like, okay, coming like into high school, it was like, okay, I didn't want to play basketball. I didn't want to play football. I didn't want to do the things, everybody else did. Like, I wanted to be different. I wanted to separate myself from the bunch. And 14, that's when, shit got real. We started training. We started to go to camps. We started to go to different promotions and, watching wrestling. He broke it down for me. He taught me to, like I said, everything that I could possibly, you know, get out of, or wrestling training or just training in general. So, yeah, man. And then, like I said, once I hit 18, it was wraps. So from 8 to 18, 10 years of training. Like I said, most people, they get their L's in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I had 10 years of just nothing but training before I, could even, accomplish that. So,
Well, that's got to be a real bonding experience too. You talk
oh
about
yeah,
spending quality time there because it's one thing to be able to spend time with your dad or with parents in general. It's something totally
yeah,
different to spend that time doing something that you love to do versus just spending
yeah.
time for the
No,
sake of spending time. So,
I
I
think
mean,
I think it definitely drew us together for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It definitely drew us together.
It's,
Yeah, he yeah, man. It's crazy that you say that because we bonded on so many like it drew our relationship to a higher level, man. Because watching him and like him watching me, it was like, man, it's so crazy, man. Now that you said something about that, so appreciate you.
yeah, man. This is how I love organic conversations, bro. I could easily script something all day long, but I don't get
Yeah,
a whole
no,
lot out of it. I get more out of like, oh shit. Because of that, let's see where you go here. As a matter of fact, if you go to our first question from chat, it's coming to us from Goth from the Netherlands. Being a second
chat, what's
generation,
up?
yes, they're here. I'm telling you, being second
Chat,
generation
what's up,
wrestler.
man?
What are some stuff that your father taught you over actual training? What were some of those lessons that you learned from him?
Well, training. Well, I mean, like I said, Dad kind of taught me the basics. I mean, it wasn't really like I already had the athletic background, so it was like not too. And then plus, my dad, bigger, bigger guy, so
Hmm.
not too much things he could teach me, but the normal things. The first time professional wrestling trainer or training, the ins and outs. 6 months of material. I think that's what I got from him. But like everything else, how I got, better as far as, charisma, ring awareness, like all that other stuff. Like it came from other people. Like other people, growing up and watching them, learning things from them. I kind of took different things from different areas. So like that only could teach me so much. But what he did teach me, He taught me how to be a businessman, and he taught me how to have, that and I think that's what got me to where I am now. So I appreciate him, and I appreciate you asking me.
Well, UK Paul, they're doing my job for me because I was going to follow up, but he's following up for me. Besides your dad, are there any others that inspired you earlier on in your career to lace them up?
So personal wise, um, Kevin Weston is a martial arts guru that just got into the wrestling business, and from there, like, he definitely shined a light on me, and made me be like, okay, look, you want to take this serious, but I'm gonna show you that you need to be serious to get to where you want to be. You need to like buckle down and only focus on this. Like, don't try to, you're young, so don't try to like do too much to the point where you fry your own brain. Like, no, if you want to do this, focus on this and only focus. So he taught me, the, like I said, of course, the ins and outs. But I will say, like, what inspired me, like WWE, of course. Um, just looking at people's stories, listening to people's stories, just how they, got into it. Like, a lot of things kind of inspired me in that aspect, but like it was more of just the personal people in my life, because I didn't know too much of, about that yet, but until now. So yeah, personal life, Kevin Weston for sure. Kevin Weston is my trainer. That's my guy.
When you start to really like get into training facilities, or did you, having that 10-year run between 8 and
Yeah,
18, like, that, let's talk about that for just a second, because that
yeah,
is very critical, because you are definitely getting a jump where most people
yeah.
would not, and that has to be beneficial in
It
some form
definitely
or
was.
fashion. So chat me up about that for just a second.
It was beneficial because, like I said, I got more material than an average person that's starting out in the business, and it was hard. It was hard for sure because, like I said, I was training in an era where training was like top notch,
Yeah.
and that that right there was like, you know, it was hard. It was, like I said, I can't even really get into how intense it was, but it was hard for me because I was so young, and like I said, I was getting over so many things, and it was tough. It was tough. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about as you're, experiencing all of this, because oh, by the way, let's not forget that while you're doing this in this time frame, you're also in school. You're also
Yeah.
balancing whatever is going on in the personal life at that point. I would imagine in middle school to high school, you're an athlete, so you got to be playing some sports somewhere. So oh yeah, we got to
Yes.
throw that in, by the way, and mix that in.
Of course.
I think the biggest takeaway for me, hearing that was a piece of the upbringing and how you came into things, like, I look at that as the biggest positive, because you're
Yeah.
already not only learning a little bit more about the craft, and you're constantly trying to get that learn on, you're showing maturity at a young age by being able to
Yeah.
balance not only, professional wrestling, but school, but relationships and sports and whatever comes along. We're all kids, right? Like, we all had stuff that we wanted to do, but pieces of your childhood were strapped into professional wrestling because this is something that you love. And I don't think that that's something that should be looked past or just like scoffed over by any means, because like it shows a level of maturity at a young age. And when I see some of that reference a guy named Devious Cass. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not. He's up north out of New Jersey, a Jersey-based area. Just turned 18.
Yeah. No.
Fucking prodigy, young kid,
Yeah.
has a huge upside. Very similar situation where he got started where he was like 11 through
Yeah.
and was working his way. And I can just see, like, the younger you guys get, the more that you wrap your arms around professional wrestling, the better performers you come out being. And if it took here, I can only imagine what it's doing here over here on your side of the equation. So,
Yeah.
for if no one else has told you, like, okay, I acknowledge the fact that takes a lot of work in its own right, and I'm very curious from your perspective, being a kid, like, how are you balancing all that? What did that look like to you?
I had parents, man. My parents definitely helped me balance out a lot of things in my life around that time. And I grew up, I won't say in the toughest environment, but it definitely showed me a lot about myself and, my capabilities, what I can and can't do. And my dad, like I said, my life support, my mom, my life support, they made it so much easier for me to balance out wrestling, school, sports, everything. And I'm truly grateful for them, everything that they gave me, all the advice, all the life lessons, the teaching moments, all of the hard knocks, and they made it. But yeah, they made it a lot easier for sure. So I give them all the credit. That's to them.
Well, let me ask you this. So, at what point in time do you step into a training facility and really start like taking this thing to the next level? Because there's one,
You
I
said
tell
like,
people all the time: you can talk about it or you can be about it. And
oh
stepping
yeah,
in is when you're actually being about it. You've gotten all this younger training as you're wanting to do this.
yeah.
When you finally step into the ring for the first time in a training facility, atmosphere, what does that look like for you? And what were the positives that you took away from it, and what were some of the things that were maybe a little difficult for you to take away from it?
Um, so from about, I would say from 8 to 12. So gave you that 10
Mm-hmm.
that 10 year range. From 8 to 12, I did wrestling because my dad did wrestling. But from 13 to 18, them 5 years that I was like my first time in a facility, like actually like, okay, this is what I want to do. It got tougher it got tougher over the years, man. Like my first year going into an actual facility, Hampton Roads Championship Wrestling Facility. That's where I graduated from. It was I was in there with some top Indy guys in Virginia, and it was though how should I say it, that it made me want to work as hard because I watched these dudes since I was young. So
Mm-hmm.
it made me want to be at that level of where they was when I was watching them at a young age. And so I knew for a fact if I wanted to get there, I gotta work, I gotta put in the work, I gotta grind. And I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot, I will say.
Well, what were some of your most difficult things to overcome? I mean, back in my
Difficult.
day, it was fucking footwork. I had two left
I
feet, but
think
once I got that down, I was okay.
I would. So I took the time. So okay, I'm glad you said that. I took the time out to learn the craft, but I didn't know how important it was to. Okay, you have to be able to wrestle, but you also have to be able to keep up with your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like the most difficult part. I had to learn that over time. Like, okay, I can wrestle, but like I also have to keep up with my health, my health, my everything. I gotta make sure that I'm able to do this for a long time. Like I want my longevity to go as far as I could possibly take it. So taking care of my body was kind of the biggest like thing for me as far as like training goes at a young age. I had to make sure my body was there.
Well, I just tell people all the time, and don't tell people now I like to eat. So I was never a body guy, bro. I was always kind of like I had a little muffin top. I could never rock the 6-pack or the 8-pack or 12-pack. I was not an ab guy by any means. I thank God I could talk. That's what I used to tell people. Is
Right.
I can talk you into the building to watch you want me to get my ass kicked, and then we're a success. And now all I got to do is go out and get beat up. That's easy. That's the easy part. But it's a game. It's a piece of the game, and I hate to say it nowadays. Like look is
Yeah,
really everything. Like that's a big piece of the presentation now, and
it is.
it's another layer that it was there back in my tenure. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as prevalent by any means back in and we're talking 99 to 06 ish. It was really character work at that point. Like, can you sell tickets is really what the indie guys were looking for, and the promoters were looking for in that point. If you can sell some tickets and you can put some asses in seats, well, I want you. And now, fast forward, the whole dynamic has changed, and it brings to, when I talk to character work, how does Dallas Dash come about? Like, talk to me about how you put the character together. Like, what's the inspirations behind it, and let's chat a little bit about the individual that we would see on our televisions if we were watching on YouTube, or if we were to come and catch you live. What's the Dallas Dash experience like?
Man, this is now, honestly, it's probably one of the funniest stories because nobody will ever believe why I chose the name Dallas, right? I am the biggest Cowboys fan of all time. And around the time frame when the Cowboys were actually good, I wasn't born. And I just crazy because I just watched a documentary like 2 days ago about, Jerry Jones and, the Cowboys and stuff. And like growing up, that's all I knew, man. The Dallas Cowboys, man. Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, Marion Barber. Like that's all I knew. So when I got into wrestling, I'm like, man, I don't know too many Dallases. Like first name Dallas. I don't even think Bo Dallas was in like the picture at that time. I'm like, man, Dallas. Like I like that. Now originally my name was Dallas Star. That was what I went by at the early ages. But I knew for a fact, like, okay, I'm getting to the point now where the gimmick has to make sense, right? The gimmick has to make sense. Everything about the character has to make sense. And so I ended up switching, I say around like 1920s, to Dash. And Dash just, it kind of fit because I love, double names basically. So DD, how could I, make this, the best thing smoking. So Dallas Dash is just like, I don't know, man. That's like my alter ego, man. That dude is crazy, man. That dude is he's a cowboy. When you think of Dallas, that's the first thing I could possibly think of, a cowboy. A black cowboy. A black cowboy, and not around the time, not too many black cowboy gimmicks, out here. And I ran with it, man. And like I said, the first time it actually got viewed, a lot of people, just telling me like, man, I love the gimmick. And it was just like, man, like I'm around with it, man. I'm around with it. But Dallas came from the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I do not mean this disrespectfully to anybody at
I know
all.
I'm about to get it.
At all. And when you said Dallas Star, the only thing I could think about was, that looks like a name that I would find at a ballet somewhere at 3 a.m. in the morning. And if those of you know,
hey, look, I also had to change it. Because the hockey team just got into like the NHL, and I was like, man, I don't want that fucking copyright. I will not take that. Dallas Dash, it is.
I went with the worst fucking gimmick, and I had it for over a year before my best friends in the game said, dude, why do you even call yourself that? Because it's stupid. And here I am at 18 thinking it's the best thing since sliced bread, and it's ridiculous. And it's interesting that you also brought up the name Dallas. And while it referenced football for you, it referenced for me when I made my change in my character and my name. I originally went by the Zen Master, and it was Z-I-N versus Z-E-N. Like Zen as in Buddha, was at peace and center, and I was this, I thrive on chaos motherfucker. And it was ridiculous. Now that I really, really think about it and think back on it. Yeah, it was pretty stupid. But in the name change and how you like, DD, Dallas Dash, I was a big proponent of, at the time, I liked Diamond Dallas Page, and I liked the DDP moniker. And I was like, how can I make this something for me? And that's where Chronic Chris Page came from. It came from Chris Page, as my next door neighbor was my best friend's name was Chris. Page was the last name, and Chronic, I smoked a lot of pot. I don't know what to tell you. That's just where it came from. And it worked. But that was just once I made that switch,
Right.
everything came with it. And I started finding a lot more success because I wasn't pretending. I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
like, you can see through fake. And
Yeah.
even with
No.
character work, you can see when someone's trying to be something versus actually being something, right? Like it's
Yes.
just there's a contrast there. So when you made that pivot, you made that change from Dallas Star to Dallas Dash, did you experience anything like that as well? Like did it just like did the light go off or the switch go up? Okay, now it's starting to click a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I was under the wrong guys to begin with, but now I feel like I'm onto something. Did you ever have one of those moments when you made that transition?
I think Star was a little kiddie for me. Like you
Yeah.
said, ballet. It was definitely a little kiddie for me. So I would say like the switch came when I first got my license, and I actually started to take it really seriously. And I'm like, no, I can't be out here, Dallas Star. Like, no, that's a little kid. Like, I'm like, if owners and bookers and companies are gonna notice something, like I gotta make that a top priority to make that change now. Like, I can't wait. I can't. I
Mm-hmm.
have to go ahead and make that switch. So Dash was just like, okay, let's go ahead and try to run with this. Let's take the gimmick, let's take the outfit, the character to a new level and see if we can try to get a look. And I hit the jackpot, man. So I'm just really thankful, man, that somebody was able to notice that, man. So
Yeah,
that
we
switch.
notice a lot on our channel. I just
Yeah.
we look at things through a completely different lens, man. And I think when it comes to us, one of the biggest takeaways that a lot of people get is our authenticity. We just keep it real as best I can. And, I always tell people, if you don't want my opinion, don't fucking ask for it. But if you ask for it, I'm going to give it to you. You may not like it. You may not see it, but I'm going to give it to you the way that we see it. And I think that's piece of why we've been as successful as we've been is because you guys come in and you see it and you witness it. And even off-air conversations. They're got guys that call me for a lot of different things, odds and ends. And I appreciate being an outlet like that, especially for a lot of you young guys that are out here on the scene,
Yeah.
because I am a firm believer that you guys are the future. And if you don't invest in your future, then kind of why the fuck are you here? Is the mentality,
Yeah.
right? Like in my
Right.
40s, bro. I know that my days are long gone, but we have a platform and it does have an audience. And maybe we can get our audience onto you and what you're doing. And then we develop a relationship and it just continues to grow and blossom. And that's the beautiful thing about professional wrestling. And right
Right.
now, you're still young. How old are you? Off rip.
I just turned 24 in May. So I started my career at 18, like my actual pro career
Yeah.
at 18, and just had a birthday, man.
Oh,
So
well, happy belated. You make me feel old as shit, but it's okay.
no, man,
Uh,
no.
it's all right. I was old as shit before we met, bro. It's all right. Let's talk about your debut. Let's talk a little bit about that because you've like I said, you've been on the scene now since you're 18, so you're several years
Yeah.
deep at this point. And then we'll get into a lot of the modern stuff that of course, you're and what you're
Okay.
heading into. But talk to me a little bit about that debut when you get the call that it's time, and
Okay.
what's that feel like for you?
So debut was kind of crazy. I'm from Virginia. My main home school is in Virginia. But my first actual pro match wasn't in Virginia. 18, I went to Atlanta for a few. Shout out ATL. That's like my second home, man.
Lived there for
Was
2
there for
years,
about,
brother. I get it.
yeah, that's my second home, man. Um, yeah, I went to Atlanta for just to be with my mom for the first time in a long time, and she definitely wanted me to come down there, and you know I thought I was gonna go down there and it'd be like hey, you gotta do this, but when I came down there, she didn't want me to stop anything that I was doing. She said, "Hey, you want to wrestle? This is, how you get there." And I was like, "Coming from you?" And I'm like, she was like, "Yeah, this is what you do." And she showed me a couple outlets, and I had got in touch with a promotion called Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, AWE.
Uh-huh.
And I met a guy named Murda. I don't know like his, but his stage name I think is
I
Murda.
know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about. We have a lot of friends
Yeah,
in
so
Georgia.
yeah, me and him talked, and he was just basically like, "Hey, come on down to the facility." Oh no, not a crazy story. He said, "Hey, come on down to the facility, and we gonna try you out, see how you do." So me thinking like, "Hey, I'm about to go to a training school, and I'm about to like actually like have my moment to wrestle in front of their guys and show them what I got." So my debut. He sent me the location. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm there. All right. I pull up to the venue. First of all, nowhere near like where I'm thinking that I'm going. It's at the freaking 5-star Marriott
Mhm.
in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm like, yo, why am I here, man? Why am I here? So me and my mom, I take my mom, we go into the lobby, right? They give us like these keychains and it says Southern Fried Gaming Convention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, where the fuck am I at? Like where
Yep.
am I at? She's just looking like, okay, hey, go, let's just walk around, see where I'm at. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm at a show. I'm at a show, but I just don't know if I'm at a show.
Right.
So we go up the little escalator, big sign, Southern Fried Gaming Convention 2019. And I walk inside. I'm like, man, this is dope. So I ended up seeing the ring. So I'm like, man, yeah, this is definitely a show. My first official like match. I'm like, man, this is definitely a show. So I ended up meeting Murda. He took me in the back. He let me meet all the guys. He told me who I was working. I actually worked CB Suave,
Okay.
my first match in the main for the world belt, and it was like, I'm like, man, as we're going over the match, I'm like, this is really happening right now. Like I'm not shocked, but I'm like nervous as fuck. Like I'm talking about like I'm sweating. Everything is just moving so slow right now, and I didn't realize how nervous I was until I actually got dressed. I got dressed and like I forgot a whole kick pad. Like I'm like, man, like what am I gonna do? So I had to change kick pads and everything. So I go to the back. We getting ready. They tell us how much time we got. Boom, boom, boom. And as I walk out, like during entrance, he goes out first. I come right behind him, and like they play Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. I'm like, man, I'm a whole cowboy gimmick, and I'm coming out to this. But I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I walk out. It's like at least 500 to like 1,000 folks in that ballroom, man, and it was just like I was sitting there like just amazed, like, and I'm like, man, this is what my dad was preparing me for. This is what Kev was preparing me for, like, and it shocked me to the point where I'm like, I'm ready, I'm ready. Something just clicked in that moment of me walking out and going around the ring. I'm ready, and I got in there, I performed, and that was my first match. It was amazing. That match was great. The match was awesome, man. And I was so thankful that I was able to get over my fear in that moment, because if not, I probably would have fucked up that whole match, man.
I, my debut, I tripped over the steps and the ropes getting into the ring. But I was smart enough to turn it around to a town troll, and I did it every time I
Yeah,
went back to that town. And we were there once a week, and so once a week I'd trip over the ring ropes, trip over the steps. But
yeah,
a lot of people fight to see 500 people to 1,000, and you got the opportunity to do that on day one, essentially walking through that
yeah,
curtain. It's got to be a surreal feeling, and to get that moment when it clicks. Like I remember the first time I had 1,000 people, and I was like, "Whoa!"
yeah. No,
I started at 17, and I think I didn't get my first 100,000, or excuse me, 1,000 plus house until late 18. So well over a
yeah,
year. And I got that opposite the rock and roll. So I thank them for that, because they were the ones that drew that house. Damn sure wasn't me. Ricky
yeah,
Morton and Robert Gibson. And it was, that was the best 2 weeks of my life because I got to learn from the arguably the best seller of my generation, and being a heel, that was what my job was to sell for the babyface. That's just what it is, and I get it, and I love to do it. So to get that opportunity and have that moment, first of all, congratulations, because not a lot of people are going to get that early. But here you are,
No,
and
that
you handle
and
it like a
I was
champ.
so grateful. I was so honestly so grateful for it, man. Like he didn't know that. Like before that, it was just straight training. Like I was just training in the gym, busting ass. Like no match, no matches under my belt at all. So for me to go out there and perform in front of that crowd and perform how I did, like it definitely humbled me for sure, but it also just made me so grateful, man, for the opportunities. Because a lot of, like you said, a lot of people don't get that.
It's
So
baptism by fire, man. That's the name of the game. Not necessarily the name of the game of professional wrestling, but pressure is a thing, and what better way of showing that you can rise to that pressure and deal with that pressure than to be thrown right in the midst of it
yeah,
unknowingly, and then pull out the performance to back the play. And you have to
yeah,
think too. This is the first time that audience has ever seen you before. They don't
yeah,
know who you are. So but so you have to go out there and not only win them over, but you're also trying to win over the promoter. You're trying to win over the guys, and show them
yeah,
that you're capable of doing this. And let's be fair, Georgia's a hotbed. It always has been and always will be for professional wrestling. So if you would have bombed it right then and there, you could have very well have bombed your chance in the state in the future. They were like, oh, I remember
yeah,
that motherfucker. He went out there and choked. But now it's more or less, no, that dude, he went out there and delivered. And oh, by the way, we didn't tell him shit. He just walked out there and did
yeah,
it. It's just one of those kind of situations. That's one of those, yeah. You thought you had me, but let me just show you, and you bet on yourself.
yeah.
It's
No,
a winning moment.
I told myself if I ever see Murder again, it's like it's up. It's me and him for sure. Because he threw me in the fire, man. He threw me in the fire 18, but it's okay. It's all right. And TV Suave, man. That dude he's a freaking guru in the ring, man. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful to get a chance to work with him as well. So appreciate you, big bro.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what other things that you've had going on in your career thus far. Like, if you go down to Georgia and you wrestle there for a hot minute, what took you back
Sure.
to Virginia, and what have you been doing on the scene there? Give me,
So what took me back home was family, man. I mean, family is everything to me. Um, like I said, I have a big support system. So family is just like I said, the number one reason why I came back to VA. And my home promotion, was I won't say in a drought, but my home promotion, I could tell, that the times were changing. So, I had to basically be like, no, we can reverse time and we can, get back to how things used to be. So I wanted to come back and make an impact on, that. Like, just be like, hey, look, man, let's get the band back together type thing. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like, we can do this. We can go ahead and, go toe to toe with these promotions out here, and we can, do what we need to do to get back to where we used to be. So, yeah, family for sure. But, I definitely had a chip on my shoulder as far as, getting my home promotion back to where it needed to be. What I had like going on while I was down south, uh, well, I had ended up going back down south. 2022, I was able to do my first big time indie show at a promotion called Nation of Championship Wrestling in Memphis, Tennessee. And on that card, you had Beast, Del Rio, Masters, EC3, Aries. Like you had some top names on the company. Like it was a big time event, and I actually got a chance to sit down and talk to Del Rio, man, and he told me some crazy shit, man, some crazy things. So,
Let's talk. I'm sorry, I'm gonna step on you. Can we talk about the biggest fumble of AAA's WWE buying AAA is
man,
this Del Rio situation? I
man,
usually don't discuss like stuff that goes on in the Fed, but how fucking stupid do you have to
man, look,
be to make AAA's crowd shit on Vikingo? I don't get it, and
man, look.
because you wanted to get rid of Del
Hey,
Rio.
I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I never got an opportunity to like be in that in that setting, that
Yeah.
lighting. But I want to say, man, I love Vikingo, dude. Man, that dude is so
He's
freaking talented, dude.
no.
He's so talented, man. Like from just every single aspect of the game, he got it, bro. He got it.
I don't.
Like,
I think he is an scapegoat for the Fed right now because they made a
yeah,
shitty call and he's the guy that was just there and tapped that says you're the guy now. And I love Vikingo. I think, dude, I think Vikingo's tremendous. Has had a
yeah,
lot of really good matches. I just don't think that he's in a winnable situation right now. I think the
yeah,
AAA crowd have made their voices heard that they want Del Rio. And Del Rio was carrying that flag for such a long time until the sale went
yeah,
through, and then shenanigans afoot with whether it's political or not. I'm not there. You're not there. Neither one of us have the facts on it. So consider all of this just armchair quarterbacking. From my perspective, not Mr. Dash's perspective. This is all me. If you have a problem with it, right there on the screen, CCP_podcasting on Instagram. I'm not a hard man to find. I'm just saying that I just think that he's a victim of circumstance right now. And I think
yeah,
that Del Rio, man, if they brought him back and you just flipped him babyface off of, this could be, in my opinion, a lucha version of Steve Austin. Think
yeah,
about the Austin and McMahon,
yeah,
storyline.
for sure.
Mm,
Yeah, no, Del Rio, like I said, getting a chance to share, the locker room with him, and getting the chance to sit down with him and talk to him. I don't know, like I said, I don't really get into the wrestling politics either, but as a person, he's a really great guy, man. Like I said, all the things that we chatted about, it was dope, man. Like I said, and me, like I said, being that was my first time on a big time indie card like that, of course, I had to keep my composure. But at the same time, it was just like, man, I'm sitting here talking to, some of the people I used to watch as a child. So like, it was just a so real moment for me.
yeah,
For real.
no, he's just a former WWE champion. That's all.
All right.
Just that, just nobody big by any means. Multiple time
Yeah.
champion at that, by the way. I would have had taken the opportunity to pick his brain too. I would have
Shout out
tried
there.
to absorbed as much information as I could, and without overstepping bounds or anything like that. Like if I had 5 minutes or 10 minutes with him, I'd get as much information as I could. Same with anybody else like someone like an EC3. I would I'd love to pick his brain for 10, 15 minutes
Yeah.
just to on a creative side of the equation because I think that guy's got a mind for the business like nobody else. Um, when you have that opportunity though, like what was that like when you get that when you're on that card with those same guys? Did you happen to ask anybody? Did they get a chance to watch the match? Did you get any feedback from anybody, or if you did, what was
So
the general feedback that you got?
yeah, so I didn't get any. Like, I think I was probably about like I say about fifth on the card. I think it was like at least like 12, 13 matches that night.
Yeah.
So like I was on the early side, top of the card basically, and I just I remember going in the back and all the guys like, yo, that was nice, that was dope. Hey, keep going, keep doing your thing. Stay humble. Have good locker room etiquette, and it was all the things that I needed to hear at that time
Mm-hmm.
because that was things that I brought back to Virginia and be like, hey, look, y'all. I know I'm younger than y'all, and y'all been doing it longer, but this is what you need to have in order to get to where you want to be. And it made me feel good to be able to share that advice from somebody like I said I used to watch to somebody that I used to watch that wants to get to that level. So it was dope, man. It was a dope experience. Like getting that call, just getting the call itself, and
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Hey, look, I want you here on this date. We're gonna go ahead and do the show." And it was crazy, man. The whole trip was crazy. I think that the weekend of that Friday, I wrestled in Arkansas. Was it Arkansas? Yeah, might have been Ripley. No, Ripley, Tennessee. Ripley,
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee. And on that card, Chase Owens from the Bullet Club, I
Mm-hmm.
was able to get a chance to share the locker room with him and talk to him and get some advice from him. So that was pretty dope. That whole weekend was just crazy.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that you're getting these opportunities and you're making the most of them. Like ultimately, that's what matters is you're building your brand and you're
sure.
building you, right? Because if no one's going to do it for you. You have to go out there and do it yourself. When you're in Virginia and you're rocking and rolling up there, like talk
Yeah.
to me a little bit about some of the guys that you're working with up there. Give me because I don't know a whole lot. This is where I love to pick your brain because I want to know about where if I was to go out of my way to find you most of the time, where would that be, and who are some other guys up there that I need to be paying attention to because I don't know if you're aware or not, but I mean, I know you are, but maybe not everybody. But we're an independent wrestling channel. A little, maybe a little birdie man told you that.
Like I said, man, Virginia wrestling, we have some heavy hitters, man. We have some heavy hitters. I don't, like I said, I only focus on my home promotion, but I can tell the other promotions in Virginia, man. Everybody worked their ass off, man, to get to where they at. Like whether if you been on the highest level or if you still on the indies. Everybody can work in Virginia, man. So shout out to Virginia wrestling because we are one of those states that we have some of the top talent. And if you don't know about it, go look everybody up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go look everybody up. Some of these dudes on my shirt, man. these guys right here, man, top notch, man. These guys. I don't know if you know him, Irvin Legend. Irvin Legend, he did a WWE show like a minute ago. He was on AEW. He did a lot, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was, of course, you got me, my father right there with the mask on is the Black Russian Chaos.
Okay.
My guy Biggie Sanchez over here did a couple shows in Mexico. Guy from Puerto Rico, Diamond Victor Griff, Virginia Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
He did a couple things in his career, man. NWA Fusion, like we can go back, like we can go back, man. But I got my guy AJ Black, Cash Out Cam, Alondre the Official, man. Lewis Gaines, like dude, I could go on and on, man. But just Virginia wrestling, man. From my promotion to other promotions, man, we have some of the top talent. So all chat or just anybody. If you want to go check them out, man, check out Virginia Promotions, man. We next up for sure.
Well, see, I'm gonna have to like that's what our platform is, and we started a little over 2 years ago by throwing a dart at the wall, at a map on the wall, and it landed in Australia. And from there, we found a Fed. Riot City Wrestling is where it started, and it has not stopped since. It opened up so many doors for us, and pieces of what we enjoy doing is finding companies and talent and that we've never seen before. And we have shows for fucking everything, bro. I'm not kidding you. This is just one of the programs that we do. We have full show watch-alongs. We have spotlight shows where we're watching 2 hours of one specific person. We have collaborations with other companies and writers and Fed heads and other talent who want to come in and do things and collaborate with us. I have a guy in Florida, shit you not, that just wants to come on and do a horror show and watch some horror shit with us. So like that's what I mean? Like that's the build. We're building fucking relationships with everybody that we come across and seeing like areas like Virginia. It's untapped for us. I can tell you right now because I do all of our programming. We've never watched anything from Virginia that I'm aware of.
Go look them up, man. Yeah, Virginia Wrestling for sure. Virginia Wrestling, any promotion in Virginia for sure. It don't matter, like I said, it don't really get into the wrestling politics. I don't really care about any of that. As far as talent goes, we have some of the best talent in the world. So.
Well, there's always going to be politics in some form or fashion, even here in Florida. Yeah. Like I ran into a situation not too long ago, and I'm not a fan of politics either, nor tribalism. I'm not. Yeah. I'm a firm believer of if wrestling has got a spot for everybody. I may not like it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I have to shit on it. Just means that I'm not going to watch it, and I'll find a piece of that show that I do like. But it also means that just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody else can't. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what it is.
Yeah, no, I hope I be the one to break that barrier for real. Like, I
Well,
want every promotion to work with each other, man. Yeah,
I
this
just
is wrestling is everything
I
to me,
just
dude.
I just think that the more companies there are out there, regardless if it's indie or regardless if it's mainstream, the more companies
Yeah,
there are, just it's the more places for guys to work and girls to
yeah,
work. There's more opportunity to make a better living for themselves. Like who
yeah.
wouldn't want
Right,
that? And, that's where it just kind of like okay, like that's why I can't do social media. To be perfectly fair, just to me,
right.
that's just a place for anyone to stand behind a keyboard to say whatever they want to say without being held accountable. And I'm not a fan. I'm just not. So like I see the AEW WWE stuff back in the back, not too long ago. Oh, they can't sell out a stadium. Well, who the fuck cares? Who cares if
Exactly.
they can't sell out the stadium? I bet you the people who bought the ticket left happy. And if that's the
That's a
case,
fact.
isn't that all that matters? It
That's a fact.
like the whoever invested their money had a good time. So your view and opinion, while I guess if you feel like people need to make it, okay, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's just adding noise to a situation. I want to go ask the person who spent the 40 or $50 on the ticket. Hey, did you get your money's worth?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
That's all that fucking matters. You're the paying consumer. My opinion means nothing, and it's just where it's at. But I'm sorry, that's my rant. I get one of those a show. I just used it. My fault.
Hey, look, you are. Hey, look, go ahead, go ahead, man, dude.
It's just so crazy to me. Like you should want people to be successful. You should want your area to be successful. And what I've
Right,
seen for all over the world, we're in every continent, brother. There's somebody on every continent who knows who the fuck we are. It's wild. It still baffles my
right,
mind. Uh, but every continent where I see the most success with on the independent scene, it's not where people are divided. It's where they're working together. It's where
right,
they're, these are facts. It's just, I can point out places, Australia, Adelaide specifically, not too long ago, two companies who have not worked with each other for years ran an angle and
right.
ran a story together with their two champions. They did a 4.5 month deal. Each company
Yeah,
got two shows, got two main events. Both gates were up. Both gates have been up since that
right,
angle ran. It rejuvenated that particular area, and now both companies are thriving again. Where maybe they were not on a financial standpoint. That one piece of story because they brought their shit together and said, "Okay, we need to save our area." Now
exactly.
they've helped do that. I've seen it all over the place. So it baffles my mind. Even now, like we've been met with a little bit of backlash with our show that we're doing on the 22nd.
Yeah,
I've had promoters here in Florida like, "What are you doing? Like, are you competition?" No, motherfucker, I'm not competition. I'm coming to do a show with guys that are in this area that have invested time into our platform. Whether
right,
I make money or not, I don't give a fuck. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is showing up for these guys who have showed up for me. What matters
exactly.
is we're in a position as a channel to where we can pull this off and try and make this happen. And oh, by the way, give guys that you employ as well an opportunity to make a payday because nobody's working for free. I've had
Right,
half of the roster say, "Hey man, I want to work for free." No. What's your rate? I want to pay you your rate. What are you asking for when you know what I mean? Like that, because that's how you do fucking business, man. You don't,
right.
it baffled my mind when I got that shit. And again, apologize. Sorry. Went off the rails
Not
there for a
either.
minute. Let's get back on track with Virginia. What do you have
Okay.
coming up here, in the near future? What's in your horizons? What's coming up, the rest of the year for you?
So I normally like now being that I do want to progress in wrestling. I do want to wrestle on the highest levels. Any opportunity that I can get. Like I said, I always try to focus on my home promotion, right? And like I said, I made my name by going, to different promotions. Specifically, like I said, Firestar was kind of the first company to, basically put me on a platform, which was, like I said, man, I'm truly blessed. LeBron Cozone, that's my
Mm-hmm.
guy, man, and he gave me a platform. But back home is where I want to basically not only progress myself, but progress my company. And we are doing, big things to, basically sprout us up. So September 13th is our next show. That's kind of the next, thing that we're doing. But we're also in the process of, getting bigger venues, selling more tickets and all that. So like that's the most important thing right now to me. Like I'm not really into, wrestling every weekend, like, trying to get a paycheck every weekend. Like, no. I normally, set out my bookings for like, all right, boom, I might have one show in March. And then I might turn right around and have one show in June. And then I might finish the year out with a show in October or November.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then work my normal show, like my normal home shows like every month. But then like my outside bookings, try to like space those out. So
Yeah.
this year I got of course, my home promotion, Round One Wrestling. And then, so I might get something at the end of the year. Like, a lot of bookings that, I get, a lot of promotions hit me up. And, sometimes I gotta decline, sometimes I accept. It just all depends on what could possibly benefit me and the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day, I'm with, like I said, new opportunities that come in. I'm thankful for anything. So whatever comes and whatever is beneficial, hey, let's do it.
Well, we have talked a lot about, and I always say this is one of the fastest hours of all time. It's by the time we get into conversation and blinking, it's getting time to wind things down.
Yeah.
I do like to ask people this too because it's more of an insight into you, the person. With professional wrestling, and I'm assuming much like everyone else, like there's the real world job. There's other stuff that you've got going on around you. Being myself, I just came off of a 3-week run from hell, is what I called it. It was 80 hours a week for 3 weeks. So this was my first weekend where I didn't have to do anything outside of last Sunday. And last Sunday, I had to go to Orlando to secure the venue for the show that we're doing. So even then, it was right. But this weekend was the first weekend I could stop. And I say all that because I'm very curious, like, with life and just being busy in general, how do you relax? When you get a few minutes for you, what's that look like? What kind of stuff do you like to do? What kind of stuff do you do in your free time?
A few minutes for me, man, that's like a few seconds to a lot of people. But I try to balance out wrestling in my normal life for sure. Like, just spending time with my wife. Like we just went to another promotion show last night, and just to go watch and to watch my craft, like just look at other promotions and be like, man, this is really cool. And just spending time with them, spending time with my family, uh watching TV, making some music. Like that's just how I wind down, like from just everything. Like I don't try to spend like too much time in the gym, but like I'm there every day, whether if I'm working out or just training somebody else. Like I'm always involved, like that. But like just a normal day for me is just chilling, just relaxing, trying to get my mental right, because wrestling is always not physical, and my trainer told me that it's mostly mental. This is a mental game, so you have to be prepared in every aspect of that. So yeah, that's how I chill, man.
You're 100% correct, and your trainer is 100% correct. Mental health is real. It is 100%
Yeah,
real,
it
and
is.
I wish that if I knew then what I know now, right? Like devil's advocate, hindsight 2020. I would have the one thing I would have changed would be not giving a fuck, because ultimately
Yeah,
that's where I'm
yeah,
at. Like
yeah,
and it sounds. I'll break it down a little bit further. When I say I don't give a fuck, I pick and choose what I give a fuck about. Like
yeah.
if it's beyond my control, or my view or my opinion isn't going to matter, or is it going to change anything, then I don't give it any of my time. I would rather give my time and energy to things that are productive, that can be
Right.
productive, or if anything that I have to say about that particular subject may weigh in or may help, someone make up their mind on what they want to do or what they don't want to do. It's got to be a productive conversation. If it's beyond that, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
I live a very quiet life. I've got my better half and I got my 2 dogs, and that's all I need. And I have this. I have this little bitty platform that was the little engine that could 2 years ago, that has grown into and flourished into a platform to drive conversation on a weekly basis with new people from all over the
Right.
world, and we all share professional wrestling in common. Who could ask for anything fucking better than that?
Yeah, no. Honestly, man, like I said, when I first, DM'd you, man, like I said, I knew for a fact that, it was just me finally, sharing my stories with somebody, just telling them what I've done. Like I've done a lot, and it might not seem like a lot, but it's been a lot for me, and that's all I could possibly ask for, to just share that with somebody, man.
And
Get it out there.
it's and that's just it. Like, these conversations, they just scratch the surface, and then by design, truly by design, because I definitely want to leave doors open and for opportunities to come back and pick up where we leave off, and maybe get into other topics of conversation that we didn't get into
Oh yeah,
here.
it's a lot, bro. Look, it's a lot more stories. We gonna save them. We're gonna
uh,
definitely save them, but it's a lot
I'm
more stories, man,
I'm
for
just
sure.
telling you, I get it, man. I get it. I've done a lot. We've done a lot here with our channel too. I think like in our earlier years, it was Travis Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff's son. I hooked up with
Yes,
him, and we did a show together on his platform after he had appeared
nice.
on one of our shows, and from there, it just, like, I was like, that was the time so I was like, wait a minute, now I should probably start taking this a little bit seriously,
Right,
because there's no telling where it's going to go. And when I
right.
tell you, look out. Like, we're signed on for a film project in October on independent wrestling in Florida with a film director out of the
It's,
UK. There's
nice.
a lot of things that are about to happen, dude. A lot, and I'll be the first one to tell you this, and this will be an exclusive on air, because I haven't told anybody this on air. There's a lot that hinges on these projects that are coming up in October and November. Not only the filming project in October, but our show in November. If this stuff is
Yeah,
successful, the first place that I'm going to start looking and I'm going to start going is to where we've had individuals who have come onto our show and given us time,
yeah,
because that's the way you invest back and you get a foothold in, and you do other things. If this film project pulls the way I think it's going to pull, well, that opens the door to go from Florida to other states. And oh, by the way, if I come to other states, probably need people there that I can sit down and talk to. Oh, going to Virginia, and here's Dallas. Let me hit him up and see what's
uh-huh.
happening, and let him know what's happening with this project, and maybe he's a
Yeah.
fit for it, or if he's not interested in it, maybe he knows somebody who
Hey,
is. This is the thing, and
look,
it's
for you, I got you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Like I said, we gotta, do to have that one-on-one talk. But you call me, I'm there, Chris.
yeah,
You
man.
know I'm there.
There's a lot, brother. There's a lot of things that are happening with us on the channel. There's definitely a lot of opportunity for everybody that we talk to along the way. And
Yeah.
again, I know that we are definitely on the downward hoof. I have a couple more questions, and I call these like these are my, I feel like they're the most important questions of the entire shows, to be perfectly
Okay.
fair. And I'm not going to rapid fire them by any means, but I'm going to give you the first one
Hey,
off
look,
rip.
let's do it.
Uh,
Let's do it.
the independent scene is on fire everywhere. I mean,
Nice.
every continent. It's
It is.
everywhere. There are a lot of great companies that are out there. There's a lot of different talent that are out there, but I want to focus on companies. Where are some places that you want to get out there and work? Like, specifically, everybody has a handful of companies. It could be here domestically. It could be
Yeah,
internationally.
man.
Give me some names of some places that you do want to work.
So I'm real big on my DMV area. I'm real big on it. Uh, it's a couple places, man. Definitely MCW, man. Maryland Championship Wrestling. I want to get there. It's
Okay.
crazy because my guy Chris Slade, he's over there, and me and him, we had a one-on-one, and that was probably one of my best matches of my career. But yeah, MCW for sure. MCW, I would say I definitely would, would want to go back to Firestar. I mean, that was kind of like, a dope experience for me. I did 3 shows with them, and that was pretty cool. Of course, every wrestler's dream is to make it to WWE or TNA or AEW or Ring of Honor. Like those companies for sure are always the highest goal. But I would say for me, any like just mainstream top indie promotion, like I would want to go do, man. That's kind of like the dream for me, would just to be there. But some of the ones that I said is like top of the mountain for me.
I mean, I just I throw it out there into the universe and throw tags out there and see what happens. And
and then like internationally, like I would love to do just at least one international show in my life. So I know you're real big with the international community
internationally.
So just any type of international show, man, I would love to do it. Like it don't matter what country. Like I would just want to do one in my lifespan. Like that's a dream for me too. So
I just have to get you on a UK loop. That's what that sounds like. Just need to put you in touch with several people. And
come on now. Hey, look, strong style. I'm all around. So strong style, high fly, brawler, technical. Like I'm with it. Y'all. Hey, send the best guy.
I'm just saying, man. There's a lot of things happening out there for sure, across the waters and here on U.S. soil. Let me tell you. And that leads into kind of the next question too, and really this is it's a guaranteed clippable, that's for sure. Some dream matches for you. Who are some guys out there on the scene right now that you would like to mix it up with? And I'm gonna preface this with we've had success.
Let's start off with LeBron Cozone, man. He was one of the guys, like I said, who put me on the platform and basically got my name out there a little bit more. So it would be an honor to just get in the ring with him, man, and be in the square circle. So LeBron Cozone, we're gonna start there. Another dream match for me would probably be Calvin Tankman. Now let me tell you,
is that a dream match or is that a death wish?
No, that's a dream match.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. My debut in Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, it was 2 nights. The first night I had wrestled CB Suave. The second night I was in a battle royal. That battle royal had Calvin Tankman in it. I just didn't know him at the time. Like I didn't know him like how y'all know Calvin Tankman now. That was him back in the day. I just didn't know. So yeah, Calvin Tankman for sure. That's another dream match of mine. And then Santana, man. Those are my top 3. I'm gonna just say my top 3 right there. Santana. It's a funny story about that. Back like a long time ago, my dad, when he started his professional wrestling company, Santana and his brother, they wrestled as a tag team in the company. And back then they were called the Funky Monkeys. If you clip that, he's gonna see that right now. He's gonna hit you and be like, man, that's crazy that I know that. But yeah, no, Santana for sure. That's my guy, man. That all them right there. I've been watching them since I was little. So just to even get a chance to wrestle with some of them guys or one of them guys, hey, I'll be grateful for it.
Man, you say Santana, he is on a fucking incredible run. It has been since coming off of AEW, dude. He has been tearing it up. And
I think that probably was the best move for him. So,
bro, I think he is the guy who ends up taking the the TNA championship off of Trick Williams. I think he's the guy. There was a point in time where I was like, oh, Hendry's they're going to rebuild him and they're going to put it back on him. I don't think that needs to happen. I think Santana's the guy. I think he's ready. I think he's been more than ready. And he has it. There's this fire in him and everything that he is doing, I am so here for right now.
Oh yeah, me too, man. Me too.
Yeah,
like
I need
to
see that. I need to see Santana and Dallas Dash. That needs to happen.
Dallas Dash and Santana, man, book it.
Needs to
no
happen.
matter where it's at. Go ahead and book that right now. Dallas Dash and Santana, man. That story has a story behind it. So go ahead and book that.
Yes, absolutely. And it will lead me to, kind of one of the last questions that I ask guys is I kind of asked it a little in a way earlier, but
Okay.
it's who should we be watching? And what I mean by that is, talent that you've been in the ring with, talent that you think maybe doesn't get the spotlight that they deserve, or
Uh,
aren't getting the spotlight. Maybe could use a little recognition. You tell me yours, and I'm gonna tell you why I ask you the question after you give me the answer.
Let's start off with Chris Slade, man. Chris Slade, like I said, me and him worked at Atlantic Era Championship Wrestling in Carneysville, West Virginia. And that guy, he's recognized now, but I feel like his recognition should be so much higher, man. That dude is, like I said, one of the wrestling gurus, man. And his style in the ring, his movements, his ring awareness, his knowledge of the game, man. He's one of those ones that could potentially go real big, man. So Chris Slade, the sharpest blade, Chris Slade, go look that man up, man. He's dope, man. That dude then wrestled Riddle, Kalisto, Rich Swann. Like he's been there and done that. But I feel like his recognition is not where it needs to be. He could be way higher than that. So Chris Slade for sure. I'll give 3. Chris Slade. Um, Man, that's a hard question.
The good news is you're not limited to just 3. You can give as many names as you want. You can just rattle them off.
Let me see. Who's some of my guys? Oh, Victor Walker. Mr. Essential, Victor Walker. He's been at a couple places too. He did a couple like appearances on, TNA and AEW and all that. Victor Walker, man. Mr. Essential, go look him up. That guy he's one of those ones too that like I said, a student of the game, and we've been trained a couple times, and we haven't got in the ring yet, so that's kind of a dream match too. But yeah, he's definitely one of those ones that's just fundamentally sound, man. He's definitely a good worker, and out of the ring, he's just a good person, dude. All in all, overall, like he's one of those ones. So Mr. Essential, Victor Walker, man. And then last but not least, a guy that I've been watching since I was small. His name is Diamond Victor Griff. This is actually him right here. Diamond Victor Griff.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time, but I feel like a lot of people didn't give him the recognition that he deserves, man. That dude is a genius, man. When it comes to just putting a story together, he's the guy to go to, man. Whether if it's like wrestling or a spot in booking or anything like that, he's one of them ones, man. And he can work. He can work his ass off. Even at the age that he is now, he's one of the older guys, but he can work, man. And that dude can go. So shout out Diamond Victor Griff, man. That's like that's my uncle, man. He's been with me since I was J-High. So Diamond Victor Griff for sure.
Well, I ask you that question because obviously, again, the scene is lit everywhere right now. There's a lot of really great wrestling, and there's so many that it's hard to keep up with everybody. And the beautiful thing about our platform is when we have guys like you come in and give us recommendations like that, those that we're not familiar with, they make our internal spreadsheets. You don't know anything about that. Those are our show sheets. That's where, we're going to eventually come around and do shows on these guys, like our spotlight shows, or find a full independent program that has them featured prominently on the show and watch it back. And it's how our revolving doors continue to revolve forward. And it's without, if we didn't have you guys that are out there wrestling and making this happen, we don't have anything to fucking watch. So if you know people, then yes, we need to know them too, because there's a reason, right? And we want to be those guys that can put them in front of new eyes and new audiences, and get people to follow along their journey as well, because they deserve it. Everybody out there that's entertaining us deserves it. So without you guys, we don't have shit. And if nobody has told you thank you, we'll be the ones to say, hey, man, thank you for going out there and making that happen for us, because, it was very entertaining. Or, hey, man, that was fucking great. Are you okay? Depending on what we see.
Honestly.
So,
no.
It has definitely been a fantastic little conversation here with you this afternoon, and really am appreciative of your time and getting you
Yeah,
to come
man.
in and just chit chat. And like I said, man, I know that we just scratched the surface, and would definitely love to have you back down the line for sure.
Yeah, man. Let's break down the door, Chris. Let's break
I
down a fucking door.
I'm waiting patiently
Let's break down the door,
for the
man.
end of November. I have if this goes well, I have a second stop already in Southern California with our friends at Millennium Pro Wrestling and Primal Pro Wrestling, and I'll have more
Hey, let's
confidence.
break and it. Hey, I haven't been to California. I haven't been to California yet, so let's just talk.
I'm just saying, dude. And if that works, I've got friends in Texas, and if that works, I've got friends in Jersey. But I'm looking for 4 more cities. I'm looking for 4 more
It's
places.
crazy. I just went to Jersey not too long ago, man. Roselle, New Jersey, at
Mm.
Cade. So I have somewhat connects out there, but
Yeah, I'm just saying, dude. That look, it's meant to happen, and things happen for a reason. I'll just put it to you that way.
yeah, man.
Our paths cross for reasons, and we don't know what they are. It's up to us to figure them out. We already know where we're headed with this one for sure.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
I definitely want to turn it over to you. If you have anything that you want to plug, is there anything that you want to promote, anything that you want to put out there? The floor is absolutely yours, sir.
All right, here we go. Couple things, man. We're gonna start off by saying you have been watching and listening to the CCP podcast with that real one, that dangerous son of a gun, the ring doc, the PE, the Ranger live in the flesh, Dallas Dash, and my boy Chris Page. Round one wrestling, September 13th, man, live from 455 Merrimack Trail in Williamsburg, Virginia. Round one wrestling, man. Back to school, bro. Virginia wrestling, we are up next. I hope I'll be the one to break down that barrier so we can all work together because we have the top talent, in my opinion, in the States. So, yeah, man, that's it. That's it.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, man. We're definitely going to be circling back around. We're going to be doing this again in the near future for sure. And we'll make some things happen because I'm very interested to see where you head next and what you have going on, and vice versa. Because we're just getting started here. We're just scratching the surface,
Just getting started.
not only of conversations in general, but of our platform. There's a lot, and when you have someone who's motivated as I am, I don't take no for an answer. I just figure out a way to make it happen. If you guys have enjoyed our conversation here today, if you're watching live on Twitch, if you're catching us over on replay on YouTube, the easiest way that you can show your support is by sharing, and subscribing. Mr. Dash's case, he keeps it simple. Head on over to Instagram. It's Dallas4Dash. It's been right there on the screen the entire show. It's right up underneath him. No excuse for you not to have gone over there and smashed that follow button because you're probably on the fucking internet anyway. So might as well make that happen. Follow along, join his journey, and take note of what he has going on up in the Virginia area and wherever else he may be traveling in the future. And in our case, if you have not followed us on all forms of social media, shame on you. CCP_podcasting over on Instagram, so you can find me. You can also get us on YouTube at CCP Podcasting. The road to 1,000 is right there. We're about 80-ish away. I'm looking for 1,000 by September, the end of September, for my 43rd birthday. It would be fantastic to extend the middle finger and name the puppy to the man who said that independent wrestling was a waste of time. And here we are 2 years later. Yes, thank you. But I will name him. The guy I've been saving this just for this one moment in time. And name the puppy. We're almost there, guys. Again, it has been a pleasure for my guest today, Mr. Dallas Dash. I am Chris Page, and we will see you next time.